magistrate reached a verdict. I have guilty or innocent. Spare me this mockery of justice.
Deathblow cooked up and damned number one.
Okay, you got to finish Damned number one. Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the original. That's funny that Damned number one was like it's not a good comimic.
You want to address this right now?
Yeah. It's well,
Let's
like we
open
don't
up
have
with
to.
this.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the actual issue, but I like that. I think it's funny that it's famous for the Batdick. That's such a weird choice because as gentle listeners will know, like DC started its Black Label, and they put out these books in I don't know, when did they start doing this? 2018. Batman Damned number one, and it's magazine sized. It harkens back to the comics, to the so-called graphic novels of the 1980s, and with adult themes and stuff like that. And so
it reminds me of that Detectives that we read.
Exactly. Yeah. It's exactly
same like
in that
timestamp, like sort of like for size and for adult like content. Yeah, I get it. Like, and I see what they're going for here, but I mean, like, Batman's already pretty, I don't know. This isn't even rated R. It's not like there's like boobs or any violence that's more dark than normal Batman, or this is pretty standard Batman fare, really. I think the art is just on deck a bit more. This artist we'll talk about more though.
Okay,
how do you pronounce her name?
Lee Bermejo, I believe, is what we're looking at here.
Yeah. And he also did the Batman Deathblow. Odd, I didn't realize maybe that Azzarello and this person are probably buddies.
They've been doing a bunch of stuff. So they start with this work, Batman Deathblow, which is March to August 2002. Then they do a Lex Luthor miniseries in 2005, which I read this afternoon. Pretty good, pretty fucking good. And then they do a Joker story, which I'm actually kind of intrigued now. They did that in 2005 or 2008. And then I got to give them just a royal fuck you to Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo, because they also did that after Watchmen shit, or before Watchmen. Rorschach. Yeah, 2012 to 2013, and I refuse to read those comics. That
was like and it was long after the movie too, which I thought, oh, maybe they're bandwagoning on the movie or something. But I don't think so. I think the Watchmen's just its own property. It's kind of a literary, well, no, it actually literally is a literary masterpiece. And it's its own thing. But I mean, like, maybe just trying to scrape something out of the brand, just be like, hey man, that's
exactly it.
Let's just prequel this and see if we can kickstart some of these characters or whatever. We'll put a couple good teams on it and see what we can, just throw shit against the wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah. And it's certainly a lot of shit was thrown at the wall, that's for sure.
It did not stick.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of did. Like Jeff Johns, like, as you, I don't know, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. There was that he brought Dr. Manhattan into the DC universe in a little limited series where, like, Superman faces off against Dr. Manhattan, and it's all like Watchmen-esque in its like structure, and I'm not going to say in its like poetry, but certainly in its like 8-panel grid structure. And it's
odd. Yeah. No one wants to see that.
Yeah.
I don't want to read this. I don't want to see it. Those are not going to be classics. They're not going to be. When the Watchmen, they're not going to be like, I should read the prequels first. No, man. It's not even as fucking good as Ridley Scott's prequels.
Oh, well, we don't know that. Maybe there's some diamonds in the rough. I'm just not going to do it, just because, like, it's exactly what you said.
Maybe if Alan Moore himself came back as a grizzled old goofball and did a half-ass effort at directing all the prequels so that they had some kind of a mind behind it, and I could accept that as part of the body of work. But he probably was phone called about it and probably said fuck off.
Oh, that was years ago though. Like decades ago, he told them to fuck off. Like he's
he plunked it in there. It is what it is. You can own the characters all you want, but it's not that there's nothing you can do with them. You can't write anything that will be true to that.
Yeah, but then again, so the counter argument and fuck the counter argument, but here's the counter argument is that Watchmen was originally based off Charlton characters, like they're all analogous to the Question, to the Blue Beetle, to Captain Atom, to like all those characters are the Watchmen characters, but because Alan Moore, I forget the reason why. It's not that they didn't have the rights. It was just that I think Paul Levitz went to Alan and just told him like, look, we don't want you to do that to those characters. Make your own characters, like analogs. And he created it. Yeah. And he there's actually like a DC Universe role playing game supplement which I purchased like a super nerd. And then has some like actual Alan Moore material in it. Like he didn't have any problem with creating capital out of this thing. And like selling product from it.
It's funny. That's to me, that's almost like a big misstep. I feel like go back in time and what if you used existing popular DC properties to do this?
Probably not.
What if those were the standard characters that
Yeah.
What if fucking Dr. Manhattan was the Green Lantern or some shit?
There is a lost there is a lost fucking proposal, Alan Moore proposal, and listeners are probably going to know about this thing, like Twilight of the Gods or something like that. It was this proposed 12-issue maxi series, kind of a crisis kind of story, and it kind of like people say that it contributed to the ideas behind Kingdom Come. In the sense that there was the various houses of the various superheroes, like in the future.
Yeah.
It all takes place in the future. Anyway, so that would have been kind of cool, but I don't know if Watchmen would have worked if it was the Question and Blue Beetle and Captain Atom, right? It helps that it's only this background noise to the story. And then it allows it to be its own thing, to just sort of stand there. But at the same time, like it's a superhero property, and what do superhero properties do other than proliferate and spread themselves so fucking thin until they turn into nothing? Like the fact that Watchmen's managed to maintain any integrity is, I don't know, a testament to its I don't know, quality, I guess.
Yeah, or it's just likely that, or a testament to the fact that it's been left alone.
Yeah, but even then, like these before Watchmen things, I've never read them. I don't think that they do anything to ruin the property.
No, they're just like sort of a non-entity. I don't know. I don't know what the sales were like, but I mean, and I did see I did have interest in a couple of the creative teams. You
got one with Jay Lee doing Ozymandias. That probably looks fucking amazing. But it's written by Len Wein, so it can fuck off. Don't give a shit about that. And then I forget the other ones, but yeah, there were some pretty good names attached to this and to that. But Alan doesn't want them to have done it, and I feel a weird loyalty to Alan Moore about that matter. Like he gave up millions of dollars. Like he won't accept royalties from the movies and properties that DC creates. Like the Watchmen movie, he didn't make a fucking cent. He could have, but he gave the money up. That's how principled and strong his stand is on the matter. And whether or not that's him just cutting off his nose to spite his face, whatever. But if he feels that strongly, then I'm not going to read the books.
Yeah. I mean, like, hey, man, good for him that he's successful enough to just stand on his.
Oh, he still has problems with taxes from time to time. He's not really like, I'm sure he has lots of money, but
Well, I think he's a little bit insane. Also.
He's very insane. Yeah, he's fucking nuts. He's the right kind of nuts for the work that he does, though. But just like Bruce Wayne in the Batman is just
really like fucking Bermejo. Anyway, really like his Batman. Really like the work that he does on the suit. The suit's fucking grimy, fucking looking and homemade. It looks like it's like fucking hand stitched Kevlar with like metal plates in it. Like you don't want a piece of this guy. His Bruce Wayne's so big and mean. Actually, he's over 270 pounds.
Wait, how do you know that?
Did you catch that in the Batcave?
No. It actually says that.
Well, this is I spent a lot of time on the Batdick.
I see. It's
can't lie to you there.
Yeah.
But as I was perusing also interesting to note that Alfred went through the trouble to make sure Master Wayne was circumcised. Oh no, I guess his parents would have been alive then.
Yeah, and that's The doctor probably did it himself. Father done job.
That's neither here nor there. Anyway. So he's going through the Batcave and it's like scanning. Expected blood vessel trauma at joints, bruising on back and right thigh, swelling in right arm labrum. But at the beginning of it, he goes heart rate 120/60. This is the Batcave, like scanning him. He goes, wait, 270.3.
Holy fuck.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Everybody in the city would guess that Bruce Wayne was Batman if he was that big.
Yeah, he's a fucking monster. That's wild. But I like it.
That's bigger than Triple H.
Yeah, it's huge. He's huge, but I think it really suits the Bruce Wayne of this universe. Like even going back to Batman Deathblow, like the Bruce Wayne that we see in this is not the goofy, confused, playing the fool playboy. Although he's playing a playboy, but he's hanging out with the deputy director of IO, International Operations, a spook agency like the CIA, and also a CIA agent. He's dangerous even as Bruce Wayne. And the other thing I noticed about Azzarello's Batman, which is a very cool Batman and Bruce Wayne, is that his Bruce Wayne and Batman are one and the same. Like he's more of an amalgamated, like he's not charading as Bruce Wayne, when he's out. Like he's not trying to fake it or like fool around or like make people believe I'm Bruce Wayne, not Batman. That's not an angle that Azzarello takes. He's one fluid person. Like he transitions from Batman to Bruce Wayne and still just continues to enact his will, and his agenda. Whether he's Bruce Wayne or Batman, he's just like a deadly machine, and that's a difference in the character for sure from almost anybody that writes it. Yeah, and I like this. I was surprised. I mean, because we've given Azzarello a lot of shit because neither of us give a flying fuck about 100 bullets. But
no,
I think this story, I think we're going to get to it. I think it's got a kind of a weak ending. I honestly don't understand the ending. But the Luthor book was pretty good, and Damned seems interesting. At the very least, I think it's a good take on Batman. I don't know, like it's never going to be the high point, I don't think. But this is good. This is good stuff.
Good. And it's really cool. It's a cool angle. I like the addition of Constantine. I like the magic. I like the hallucinations. I like the adult content. I don't know who greenlit the Dick, and I don't know why the Dick was shown 3 times. I don't know that was
Black
necessary.
Label, dude. It's Black Label. It's
but
like
why
Penthouse.
is that the choice? You couldn't have like a I guess you can't. I guess you can't
Well,
do
why
that. I mean,
not, man?
2018's too woke. I was gonna say you can't have a girl go home with him from the club and just show her boobs or something, like, and just get everybody
man.
all agitated. Oh my God, there was a nude woman riding Batman. No, man,
Yeah,
because
but
then
no
they'd be
one's.
like, man, me too. That's not good. It was
I don't know.
consensual.
Wow. Okay. So you're a little butthurt
Oh,
about Me Too. The
No.
I don't know.
I'm
Like
just saying. I'm just saying. If I was pulling the trigger on some adult content in this
Yeah.
day and age, I probably wouldn't go to the fairer sex in the book. I feel like they'd be like, well, why did you do that and not this?
Yeah.
So
I suppose.
they went ahead and just did this.
I don't know. I can't imagine that's anyone's motivation in this. Like, it's just. Think back to the 80s, the amount of full frontal, like, we've seen a lot of superstar cocks, right? You know, like, and side angles and in the
I've
shadow and
seen
stuff like
Liam
that.
Neeson run.
Yeah. Oh,
And
wait, when?
I can't remember what movie it is, but he
Oh,
is like
okay.
a howitzer. Yeah. Just flapping around.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of like American Gigolo, you know, like Richard Gere's full on fucking cock, and
I feel
like,
Boogie Nights. I feel like I
Yeah.
feel like the male cock in the last like 40 years in a movie, it really like gives your property some oomph. And I think it did. I think it did in this case as well.
Yeah, well, I think it's disappeared, and we'd forget that it should be there. Why not? If we're gonna have like nude chicks bopping around, and yeah, this is maybe part of your argument.
And
But
that's part of the 80s too, though. I think was that the nude female form became like sort of like a standardization in the male action movie, and then it was just like, for whatever reason, if it was like not a straight man's film to show male nudity, only female nudity.
I'm not sure when the tradition. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't. That's just like sort of a guess as to what the mentality was behind that. But then I
think at some point, like, I think you're right. Obviously, like, you know, tits sell. You know, like, let's not kid ourselves here. But at some point, like, even in the 80s, there was a lot more dick. There was a lot more dick in movies, and I don't know when the dick disappeared, but I think it's undisputable that it disappeared from film, and in exchange for solely the female form. Except for apparently Liam Neeson, which I was completely unaware of. So, you know,
I'll try and find that for you if you want.
Yeah, please. I'm sure there's a YouTube clip of his just dick floating around. Yeah. So anyway, I just can't imagine that Brian.
You can thank Game of Thrones for bringing back a bit of cock.
Oh, okay, well, thanks, Game of Thrones. Yeah, that actually probably makes a lot of sense. I don't think that Azzarello was like meaning to participate in any of this. I think they were just like, maybe it's Bermejo, honestly, because like he comes out nude from the Batman. Comes out nude from the. We're not talking about Batman Deathblow at all. Apparently, he comes out nude from the. Comes out nude from the Batmobile, you know, and he's doing all the scanning and stuff like that. And when else do they show the cock? Because I don't have the cock edition.
Well, what? You have the no cock edition?
Well, I'm reading it on Hoopla. I only have the hardcover of such as it is, like book 3.
Okay, well, the dick's here. And when he gets out of the Batmobile, and then on the next page, he's going in past all his suits, and the dick's still swinging.
Okay.
And then he crumples down because his suit reaches for him or whatever.
Oh, that's a cool scene, by the way. Yeah.
Maybe check your head. No. And then he crumples up, but then I think later on, if I'm not mistaken, he's back in his house. Yeah, after he does the bum stuff and he meets is this your friend, the Joker card street magician woman?
Yeah.
He's back in the mansion, nude again.
Oh.
Dick's out, just sitting
can't
on a
help
felt
himself.
chair. Yeah. Dick's out for Harambe.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. Jesus.
You know, and
so they edited the dick out. I can see it. I can kind of see the editing out of the dick. It looks a little like smudged, you know? Yes. Yeah, and then they just added extra shadow. That's fucking stupid.
It's gonna offer them up for you. You want to send you some dick pics?
Yeah. You send me some of that cock, bro. This is gonna be the weirdest episode of Extinction Agenda that we've had yet.
Shit.
Yeah. The Batdick's that's a strange. I mean, I know that they knew that it was going to be controversial because the dick had disappeared for so long, right? So you're right. It is them making some sort of statement, and like someone from some of the brass like greenlit it. And I guess
that's
right.
what I mean.
I guess
like
you're right.
somebody had to have been like, and then it'll be like, okay, like we're gonna show this unit 3 consecutive times inside the book. Wow, is that super necessary? Like, what executive sat down and they were like, this is good to go? I think there's even a testy in that one.
I think that's it's wise, man. It ended up on the map. I think that's why we're reading this book. It is
certainly
why. Yeah, it's definitely it's why we're reading the book. I was like, they put a dick in it? That's fucked.
I'm gonna put this in the. I think it's safe to put this in the big group chat, even though Chris isn't participating tonight. He should he should feast his eyes. You know.
I think he'll appreciate that. Get a big load.
Here you go.
Oh my goodness!
I think you should get this in live action right now. Live reaction to the Batdick. Right
yeah, well, it's funny. I like what I'm glad that it's not like super big. You know, like I guess he's a 270-pound man. I mean, like I guess they could have. You know, I guess maybe what I'm trying to say is like it's not erect or anything.
It doesn't go halfway down his leg. I guess. I mean, they didn't really throw you under the bus. You know.
And I'm thinking about Roman sculpture, like a lot of those guys, not Roman, like Italian, and I guess Roman sculpture too, but the Italian Renaissance, like all the guys, it's all these big burly fucking guys, and they've got like shrink dick.
You think this? No, that's a regular dick.
No, they should all no, it's like literally like they got like no dick.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I think because like it looks like they've been in the pool, you know, like George Costanza style.
You think this baby's been like fashioned after the Michelangelo? It's more of a.
No, it's not.
It's an accessible dick. It's
unreal. It's unrealistic that it's like somewhat inflated after having received just horrible trauma wounds. You know, like it should be like. I think it should be smaller. So maybe it's a huge dick.
Blood
I don't know.
Flow's good, man. He had magical healing done to him.
It's true. Probably feels great. Well, clearly he does. He's just fuck. Just a moment. Then he loses his erection as his own bat suit attacks him.
Well, that'll throw you off every time.
Yeah. Don't get it up for a week after that.
So did you see? Did you get? You got the images then?
Oh yeah. I was that was the live reaction, ladies and gentlemen. That was fine.
Good.
Yeah.
I think that may be all that there is to.
Sorry, I didn't look at that. Really, the one where he's sitting in the chair. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. That's a weird. I love that. That's definitely got to be the picture for the episode. I know I said that.
You can't put that on YouTube.
No way. No one's gonna notice. YouTube, fuck you, man. Dicks out. Bat dicks forever.
Yeah, and I know, and I like that. Lee here has gone through the trouble to kind of draw the fact that Bruce Wayne's kind of sat on one of his balls, kind of come up from the side. I mean, he's as comfortable as he can possibly be.
This giant cock.
This is
oh shit. Yeah, I mean, no wonder he's a creature of the night, man. You know, like
that's just gonna get pulled off YouTube.
No way, man. This is Anyway, yeah, it's so anyway, that's how I feel. I guess that's how we feel about the Batdick. I'm glad this is like sex education when the teacher was like, "Okay, everybody, get it out of your system." We're gonna have one class of the giggles, and then we're gonna get down to business.
Yeah, that's the damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about the book.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? I think if that wasn't in the book, if there wasn't some magical thing making this baby a black label, then I mean, it would have been a bit more. It would have been a very generic feeling, I think.
Yeah, because otherwise it's pretty standard. Like you said, it's a little.
It's good. It's good standard, but it's not.
Yeah.
But it is standard.
I think so. Everything's maybe a little sexier. Like Zatanna's a little, but I think it's just because of the nature of the drawing. She's not any more sexualized than anything else in comics.
Or than she normally is. I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty sexed up. Magician's costume and all that stuff. Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah, she just wears like fishnets and the top half of a magician's costume, right? Like,
yeah, I guess I should be more clear about that. Yeah,
it's pretty hot. But
yeah. And this is kind of a spooky book. There's actually, and this gets down to Bermejo's real talent, I think, or skill. Apparently, he's self-taught. So I'm gonna go with talent on this one.
Oh shit! Well, he's honestly like God-given that talent then.
Yeah, he was an intern at Wildstorm apparently, and then he helped on this and he helped on that, and then before you know it, he just found himself kind of in the big leagues, kind of a coming up from the ground floor sort of fellow, the way that comics used to be.
Well, he's like honestly like the if we're gonna move on from I'm gonna give we'll rate The Damned later, but I'm gonna move on to Batman Deathblow and say that
Sure.
I was stunned by this. This is quite good. I think it's very good actually. Like a spook story, which I think Azzarello has like a nicer hand for like true street crime than maybe other people do.
Yeah, I think so. I think that this is after. Sorry, I'm just trying to place it in time.
This is late. This got to be late.
Well, it's 2002. It's 2002, but I'm trying to remember. Like, I guess Batman's his Superman run. It must have been like late 90s, right? It would have to be. I'm just trying to. I'm thinking about it in relation to that. He got better as a writer, I think, because like some of the writing in this is. You're right. He's very good at this at giving. In the same way that Warren Ellis is very good at making me think that he knows anything whatsoever about technology, Brian Azzarello is very good at making me think that he knows anything whatsoever about government agents and that sort of thing. You know,
like he Black Ops, like the guy can craft me a Jason Bourne story. You know, like,
yes, yeah. Yeah, and I'll be like, okay, that sounds right. Like, what the fuck do I know? But that sounds right. Like, that's
yeah. Like this guy knows his spooks, or this guy knows organized crime, or you know, he's got that way about his writing where you could be like, I can sink into this. This is good universe.
Yeah, and he's perfect for it. And this is a good story for him. It's not the story that I thought we were going to get out of this. It's not actually a crossover. Or it's a crossover in the weirdest way. I love the resolution of this story. Not the final reveal, but I love how Batman addresses this issue. I guess I might as well say, by putting on the costume of Deathblow at the end. Like it's a weird way to do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like normally a crossover is, you know what your fucking crossovers looks like. Generally, but usually there isn't an identification between the two heroes, like a literal identification.
I expected them to fight also, which I thought was a great swerve. That they just sort of never crossed paths. Like it's not because I feel like you're doing justice to both characters. Because like Batman and Bruce Wayne, he's taking care of his city. He's dealing with the problem. Deathblow basically resolves his issues and he's like basically like fuck you, you know, that's as close as you're getting to a complete contract. I'm out of Dodge, and he's not gonna get caught by Batman because that weakens his character too.
Yeah, it's like when Punisher fights Batman and you're like, there's no winner, really. Like the audience loses no matter what happens.
Yeah, you don't want to. It's an old like an old wrestling trope. Like you don't want to make your top guy look weak. And if you got two top guys in the story, you got to have some kind of back door for one of them or both of them. so
and we know
comes out looking soft.
Yeah, and we know who needs the back door in this, right? It's got to be Deathblow. And Azzarello comes up with a fantastic back door.
Right, and because that, and also that's in character. Character, but he's a contract man. I'm out. You know?
Yeah, and everything, and they're separated by time. Like I think that's the best part, or the smartest part about this is like all of Deathblow's story takes place 10 years ago, and then Bruce Wayne's story, either it says 5 minutes from now or 10 minutes from now, and then in a very writerly way, the two timelines start to overlap. On the page, and sometimes you don't realize there's the transition, but you've been in the past enough to know what the past feels like, and in the present enough to know what the present feels like, and the reader's able to distinguish easily, and you're like, and he brings them together so that stuff that happens in the past, like sentences are finished in the present. And I'm like, okay, you got some chops. That's some all right stuff. I think comes together pretty well.
I don't know if I liked some of that. Like I didn't like the Tyler Durden character design, but I mean like.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Right?
We're looking at O2, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, everybody was fired up about Fight Club, so I'm gonna give that a pass.
Yeah. So the villain, for those who haven't read this, the villain does look like Tyler Durden when he's. I didn't get that connection. It's like an Asian Tyler Durden. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also like the fact that Batman wasn't a good choice. Like Batman wasn't who Bruce needed to finish this guy off, which was neat in with the sort of Deathblow costume move.
Yeah, well, it was also like a self-preservation thing because, like, Alfred's like, if because the conceit is that like it's a world of international operations, CIA, blah blah blah. The government's going to come crashing down on you if you fuck with this particular thing as Batman. So he's like, I'm not going to fuck with this thing as Batman. I'm going to come back as Deathblow. And it's nice. It's a good way to do it. And it lets like we already said, it lets everybody off the hook, and it makes sense for the story. That's the best part. Even if the story's not like super great, but there is something compelling about this. Like enough that it's so compelling that I was like, I read the Luthor thing, like took like 2 seconds, and then I read as much as I could of Batman Damned in the time that I had.
I was dug right into this.
Yeah.
Like the Batman Deathblow, I read most of it on my lunch break, and I was enthralled. I was like moment to moment with it. I thought it was a great one shot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you could do with the two of them.
With Batman Deathblow?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, otherwise you just go the generic route. Like I shudder to think of what like Chuck Dixon would have done with this idea, like it just would have been like, especially like with an Asian government involved. I was like, oh god, that's gonna just like unleash all the demons.
Oh man, yeah, you would have had the really cool cover arts and stuff too, and pencils in the back of my copy. And you've got the copy too.
No, I purchased these digitally for us to talk about because we're very slowly going through your shelf because you got a lot of interesting things on your shelf, and I wanted to talk about this after.
I almost thought it was a funny find. Like I didn't think it was gonna be good.
Yeah, the odds were good though. As everybody talks well of Azzarello, and I'll say some bad things about Azzarello because we've said a lot of good things, and he's very competent. I'll say that, but his dialogue is it's too poetic. It gets in the way, like when he's talking about falcons, all of a sudden like everybody's talking about flying, and like everybody engages in these extended metaphors, which maybe feel fun to write, but are like kind of really annoying and distracting to read. And I see that in his Luther work as well. You know, I think that's a thing that turns me off, because anyway, like people don't talk like that. People don't talk like that. Like unless it's the 1940s.
Like Bruce saying, I wouldn't call it a window. It's more like an invisible back door that only we have the key to.
Yeah.
Like, relax, Bruce. You wouldn't say that out loud.
Yeah.
Or hopefully you wouldn't. Or if you did, I would hope that Alfred would ridicule you.
Yeah, I guess like contrasted against the Alfred conversation in a Warren Ellis Batman book, where everybody's like, you know, like
where it's quippy and you're like, huh, this is funny. I could see this on screen, or I could see this in person almost, right?
Yeah, and each of them has and I know it's 2002 or 2003, and maybe back then the idea of a backdoor into a government agency's computer was difficult to explain.
I was going to say,
I don't think so, though.
In 2002, this was also way fucking better than anything else that was out.
Yeah, actually, yeah. That's we missed the boat on this one. That's a shame.
Yeah, well, clearly, I know.
Yeah.
And his death blow was frightening. Like, that guy's a fucking murderer. It's all scarred up, wearing those little fucking, like, what do you call that hat?
Oh shit! I gotta pull it up here.
Looks like he's Rocky's boxing coach.
I think this is meant to be Chuck Dixon's Michael Cray. I think this is the Michael Cray that we're supposed to recognize. But you know, I couldn't say that for sure. But
there's a really cool panel on the street scene when Cray's like stalking him. He's stalking the Tyler Durden. He's gonna get him down. He's going for a clear shot, and he's like walking through a crowd. And there's this. They show this side profile of him, and he's like, I call it a hunch, Scott. He's talking to his earpiece, and there's a guy looking at him on the street, and his eyes are fucking huge, like he's terrified. He's a foot taller than this guy, and it's just like a neat. This is like a neat little piece of side art, like to have this guy like be like gazing upon this monstrosity like with terrified eyes.
Yeah,
because he would stand out, almost like 270 pounds of Bruce Wayne.
One thing I don't like about I had to come to grips with it with Bermejo's art is it's very photorealistic in some instances. He draws a beautiful cityscape, and it only gets better as he develops as an artist. But his characters, although photorealistic, are very crinkly. Like, everybody's so crinkly. Why is it so fucking crinkly? You know, it's a weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird stylistic tick. Yeah.
I do know what your complaint is, and I do find that. I find even his female characters are not soft. Like, nothing's soft.
Nothing's soft.
None of the costumes are crinkly and wrinkly. The armor's crinkly. The faces are crinkly. The hats, the hair.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. And it's and there's some like oh man, there's some smooth action, but like sometimes there's like conversations or people standing over the back of other people's chairs and stuff, and it's like a little awkward.
Yeah, he's not maybe the best person to convey that. He does get better, I'll say. Like, again, I keep talking about the Luther story, but there's a lot of good scenes in that, and you really see the improvement. And looking at Batman Damned and looking at this, like, cause we're kind of looking at the evolution of a fella like at the beginning of his career, up until
Batman
now.
Damned is very smooth.
And there's some fucking genuinely arresting images here. Not the ones that I think that he wants them to be, but every once in a while, like, yeah, it definitely fucking grabs you. I think the difference is he colors this. One difference is Batman Damned. He's doing art and cover, whereas in the earlier work, someone else is doing the coloring. And someone else is actually doing the inking as well. Like in this Batman Deathblow thing, there's Tim Bradstreet doing the inking. And you know who Tim Bradstreet is.
There's 3 people, isn't it? Well, I don't like his name.
He's that guy who always does those covers. He did the Punisher covers for Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon's run, and it's just Punisher standing in front of a brick wall all the time.
Yeah, he actually has got he does 3 covers for these books too. They're in the back of this book.
Are they all standing in front of brick walls?
2 of them are. Yeah. 2 out of
exactly. 3. Yeah, like I'm
one's
not
in a
warehouse. He doesn't
one's in a
do
warehouse,
any other image.
Like it doesn't. And it also looks like half the warehouse may be made out of bricks.
It's so weird. It's like it's a joke.
And he's got a Bruce Wayne. He's got a Bruce Wayne Deathblow that looks like the Punisher.
Right.
Actually, I gotta show you this because
please.
His images are actually terrible. His Batman looks like I overate and am wearing a Batman costume personally.
Well, because he draws like
and then his Tyler Durden looks like a roving alcoholic carrying a Glock.
Oh fuck! Oh, way to go, Tim Bradstreet. Yeah, I don't. He's honestly, I wouldn't kick him out of my bed if I was a comics creator. And he was doing covers for me, like people
no, man, I'd be fired up. I'd be like, go for it, man. You do your best. Draw the Punisher over and over again if you want.
Yeah.
Why does the Punisher? Why does the Punisher look like just like mildly? Why does everybody look like a bit diabetic?
No one looks like
that. These are spooks and superheroes. Like they don't look healthy. They all look like they need blood work.
Especially Batman. Oh my god, he looks terrible. I think it's a case of Frank Whiteley disease. I think everyone's modeled off, I'm guessing, Tim Bradstreet himself, like looking in the mirror, or perhaps pictures of him standing in front of like brick walls.
Yeah, I guess maybe he's done that because hopefully. Well, I mean, I feel bad if that's what Tim looks like, but I mean, it's fine. It looks like Batman looks like he's creeping past a brick wall after a brisk fap.
He looks a little
bit of a smirk.
Yeah, a little contented. He's just like, he's definitely hungry for a sandwich. Fuck.
Or he's got indigestion. I just wanted.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I at the same time, like, I don't want that guy dropping in on me. Stopping my crime.
Tyler Durden guy looks like he just got out of Subway.
Yeah. But Tim Bradstreet did all the covers, now that I'm thinking about it, for Brian Azzarello's Constantine run, for his Hellblazer run, which is apparently well thought of. I dipped into that a little bit. I'd like us to cover that at some point though, so I stopped reading. But it looked legit. I think 100 Bullets just kind of really sucks. And it's just not for us, but maybe Azzarello's got some, because his Superman Jim, like with Jim Lee, like we were shitting on that too, and I didn't like Volume 1, but Volume 2, it was smart. It was an interesting take on Superman. It showed thoughtfulness. Like, it wasn't fucking high art, and just like this isn't high art. It's just kind of sort of competent. And he's not suited to write Superman. Let's be clear. But
no. I think he has a good Batman angle.
He's got a great Batman.
If he did an extended Batman run, I'd be interested in it for sure. At any given time. And this is like, I'm not that. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I'm not sure where it is though.
I think it's called Broken City or something like that. Anyway, I haven't read it. I think it's with Russo as well. The Dream Team. Anyway, go on.
I'm just saying this is I think it's a little better than like Workman stuff. Like, I think this is good. Like,
yeah, it's much better than Workman stuff. Like, getting back to if Chuck Dixon is the bar, he jumped right over it.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, like maybe it's not great. Like maybe it's not the first fucking 10 or 20 graphic novels that I would recommend to somebody, but like it's really fucking good. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, for your Batman connoisseur, for the guy who likes the Batman. doesn't realize.
Yeah. If you're a Batman fan and because the Batman Deathblow is like, shit. I read worse Batman all the time.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if I'd recommend Batman Damned yet because I haven't finished reading it. It's like a fever dream. It's very strange and neat, and it's Azzarello playing with all the DC mystical properties. Dead Man, and he's kind of doing the Alan Moore rounds. He's doing the Neil Gaiman rounds. He's doing like I'm going to go into the mystical universe and I'll give him my spin. And I don't like the look of his demon as like a rap artist. His Boston Brand as like this literally like flayed creature who can only inhabit people for a few seconds because it makes them want to throw up. That doesn't sound like something you could actually do any storytelling with.
It's interesting art wise. I mean, it's a little jarring and confusing as to what's happening. And didn't seem like there was a main villain in the book at all, really.
Yeah.
It just seemed like, and then the timeline jumping to Bruce as a child with a weird demon kid talking to him is not doing much for me either.
It's weird. It's also sort of perverting the image of what we think of Martha and what's Bruce's dad's name? Fucking
Thomas.
Thomas. Thank you, Thomas and Martha. They I thought it because like he's philandering on her while the kid's around, and like it's part of a nightmare world where like even his family is sort of being destroyed in the background. And that's at the core of the Batman myth. If his parents aren't perfect, in some sense, then Batman is flawed in motivation, and he's that much more damaged as a creature of the night.
Yeah, and that's interesting, and not often. Like even the best Batman stories and best Batman movies, basically come flying out of the gates with the generic origin story. Like,
yeah, and I don't know if this is getting rid of that.
No, but I mean, like even to toy with it, like nobody toys with it. This is a smart move and a unique idea.
Well, definitely, if you want to show what Batman in Hell looks like, and what he experiences, like, yeah, getting back to the art, fuck, here there's some really striking images in this, like just not all the time. Like that demon girl is, so Martha and Thomas are murdered in the street, and this is in issue 3, and he's sort of collapsed, and that like this demon fate, like it's like this empty faced, constantly grinning creature is holding him. And
I know your secret, Bruce.
Yeah, and Batman's looking at her at that. Anyway, it's I don't know. It is like a nightmare world. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what's real in this story. Like, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Because it's a fucking comic book. But
yeah, I also like the ambulance scene. Like when he smashes that guy's face against the side of the ambulance, I felt that was great.
Oh, in issue 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. But even then, like, I don't know. There is it's, it seems strange to say, but you just don't know where the action is taking place, like whether or not it's a dream or it's reality or something like that. Even at that point, it becomes unstable. Which I don't know. I guess that works. I mean, it's kind of fun. It's kind of interesting as a thing. It's Azzarello. I feel he's a little outside of his usual habits with DC properties. I might be wrong about that because I haven't read all of his Constantine, but
well, I mean, like you say too. I think they were trying to do something special, and this was the beginning of them trying to make their Black Label mark.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make something a little more disturbing, a little darker than, or, just get some kind of an angle to have like a new, like fresh product that they could charge $12
premium prices on. Yeah. Well, it seems kind of.
Hey,
yeah, it seems kind of worth it.
I did feel like I got more value out of that book. Also, like if we're gonna talk about like pure product, like it's a large book. It's got a lot of meat on it. It's got a lot of the art's beautiful. The format is lovely. I mean, if you're a standard comic book reader like us that just like pounds through gajillions of comics or whatever at any given time, I mean, having a nice big format like that to just drink in the dicks, is nice.
Yeah. This is my favorite comic format, actually. I wish that the comic industry was able to just transition to quality products like this. If this was the baseline quality, holy fuck, man. Even if this
when I
sucks,
go to the store and I pay, fucking all the comics are pretty expensive now, but like if I had to go pay $20 for 3 or 4 comics, I'd rather pay $20 and have 2 of these any given day, even 25. For sure, if this is what you're going to bring to the table every time. But
it's going to stay in the collection. Like so we were talking about like recommendations and stuff like that, but like when am I ever going to give a Denny O'Neil Batman number 370? I'm just picking a number out of my head. Issue 375, Detective Comics 375, or even like 5 blah blah blah, or even Peter Milligan. Like it's just so middle of the road fucking nothing. Just and this is something. This is a thing that you could give to people, and it would pop at them, and maybe they wouldn't appeal to them. And I'm like, God bless you if it did, but it would at least it's something. Put it on the coffee table, flip through it. It's not insubstantial. Is that so much to ask? Apparently so.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I was just reading about the controversy here.
Oh, back to the Batdick.
They just said it's there's people just crying about it.
Crying about Dick. Don't like the Dick. Yeah. So I don't know.
It's just weird that they didn't want bad publicity apparently, so they digitally erased it, and then they erased it in all reprints.
Yeah, and then it became a collector's item and stuff like that, and it just like perpetuated the very thing that ultimately, like, that's the most dangerous element of the comics industry is the collector's market. Like the collector's market has not ever been kind to comics as a medium. And this kind of accident feeds into it. But you know what? If people were upset about the Dick, I would have really respected if DC was like, you know what? Guys have dicks. Batman's got a dick.
Yeah.
This is Black Label. This is not for children. Like it's got a fucking. It's clearly not for kids. But I guess it's a Batman property, and some suit got all weird. So someone at Warner Brothers was like, "What the fuck?"
There's a lot of videos about the. I mean, they're not calling it the Batdick as we are.
Yeah.
Hashtag Batdick. They're calling it Batman Uncensored, Batman Damned Controversy. But
right. Yeah, and that's just I understand if DC wants to put the fig leaf over their golden goose's humongous cock, like that's fine. Like but it's a shame, Leave it out there, man. There's so many Batman stories. No one gives a shit. If no one talked about this, if the news story made this a news story, otherwise no one would give a shit.
I also think it's so fucking lame that that's what turned it, like censoring panels turned it into a collector's item. Like it's because you inadvertently made something low print by being like, whoa, we'll pump the brake on that Dick.
Yeah. Reprints are gonna 100% less Dick.
Bizarre. Well, I'm happy to have it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, says someone who's got the bad Dick in full exposure.
This is funny. Not to throw people out there, but our good friend, I acquired this actually from our good friend John.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, that's
He's the original procurer of the Batdick, and
yes, yeah.
a connoisseur, a collector
Of Azzarello, yeah.
Of general rarities. He was always good for that.
Right.
If it was fucking first print or whatever, he always had his paws on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, I'm getting rid of these. Do you want them? And I actually had no idea about this. I was like, oh, sure, because I had issue 3.
Right.
I saw it at the comic book store, and I liked the Poison Ivy cover. It was like a mutilated, like, demon Batman kind of one. Right. So I grabbed that one, and then he's like, well, I had 1 and 2, so he sent them to me, but he never let on about it. I got to message him, actually, talk to him about that.
Thanks for the Batdick, pal. Yeah,
he
probably doesn't know.
I wonder if he knew.
Yeah, I bet he didn't know. Who, from his perspective, like, who fucking cares,
Yeah, I think he was just getting issue number 1 Black Label and putting it aside
for a favorite writer or whatever, and he was like, you know what? Yeah. I don't need this in my life. That's a funny choice, yeah. But fair choice for a grown man to be like, you know what? I don't actually need Batman Damned. Thanks.
So, yeah, not me. I'm getting this baby graded.
Absolutely. It's gonna be worth
shouldn't have put my sweaty paws all over.
This thing's worth a mint.
My, what do we have here?
Yeah. So I don't know. Do we want to? I don't think we can. I think this conversation doesn't really warrant rating anything. Let's rate, however, if we are going to rate anything, the team up of Azzarello and Bermejo.
I thought you were going to go lowbrow on that, but
no.
I'm glad you took the high road. If we're going to rate anything,
we're going to rate some dick. I think that's A+ dick, man. Put that on the wall beside me.
Yeah. Both for length and girth. Anyway.
Yeah.
We're gonna go. Anyway, the team up of Azzarello and Bermejo has apparently transcended decades here and improved over time, and is also a premium team up. I would, if I see those 2 names again on anything else, I'd probably be inclined to be like, let's dip into this.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
And that's a high praise, I think.
Yeah. I just like I don't think it's really great, but I don't think it's bad by any stretch. Like, it's, we're looking at the pretty consistent 7 to 8 range, 7 to 8 out of 10. Like, that's what you're gonna get, and that's fine. Fuck, I'll take that. That's worth my money. So or borrowing from the library.
Yeah. Well, whatever. The library bought it.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to read that Joker story that they did, and I'd like if we at some point, because fuck, we could cover a million things, but I'd like if we did the Constantine at some point, just as a
like Azzarello Constantine.
Yeah.
Thought you were going to say Garth.
Well, I don't know any of it, but there's so much to cover. We already talked about that last time.
Constantine's such an oddity. What a weird character that's like popular but not popular.
Yeah, he's very he's got a television show. He's got a movie. He
probably has another movie Reeves, on the way. Man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. He's cool. He's a cool character. And everyone, tries to they want to platform him, they want to make him big, but he's never going to be big. I think that I guess Constantine's been all around for a while on television. I think he's a television guy at best. And it's
and he's like this. Yeah, the closest thing you'll get to a real mainstream Constantine is basically the fucking show Supernatural.
Oh,
I fucking said it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I can't speak to that. I hope you're wrong.
No, it's just 2 goofy guys that are demon hunters, and sadly that's making the 2 brothers handsome is the closest you get to mainstreaming something like that. I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. Because Constantine, he's too smart, and he would hate his audience. So it would have to be like an HBO thing, and it would be so fucking insufferable. It's just, like some things just work on the page, and they don't necessarily.
Yeah, well, Keanu Reeves was a fun take on him, because he's kind of an apathetic type of person. Like, or that's what he portrays. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
That's not true. He's probably a really cool dude.
I think, well, there's lots of different Constantines. He's had lots of different writers, like it's kind of like Batman, like you're either true to the character or you're not. I haven't seen that movie in so long. I really can't say.
Well, like a Gambit Doctor Strange that's an alcoholic is just a fucking weird thing to do.
Yeah,
that's nobody's into it, man. People are like, "Oh, that's a neat idea." Not for me, though.
Yeah, that's an interesting Venn diagram. That's not far off. I like that. Oh shit. All right. Well, anyway, this has been an episode of the Extinction Agenda, and where we talked about Dick quite a bit. So yeah, I don't know. Honk if you like Dick.
No excuses here.
Now, all we need is a little energon and a lot of luck.